On three, two, one. What's up? Welcome to Strength Out of Struggle, aka Fit Life. Today with me, a good old friend, but someone that's carried wellness through as part of his lifestyle, and I think that's one of the most important things that has been behind his success as an actor, musician, and presenter, etc., etc. Please welcome not only a friend but my young brother, Mr. Chris Jaftha. You know what I'm saying, Carnel.
Orale, carnal.
Orale.
Orale, vato. What's
Vatos
happening,
will
man?
think I think I'm loco.
Vatos locos,
It's
homes.
Vatos locos forever.
Forever.
Welcome, man. Welcome to you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Bro,
It's been a long time coming.
it's been a long time coming. I mean, we both started in the game and we both been caught up and we just meet each other on the road or here or there. What's up? Let's catch up. What's up? Let's catch up. Lately in the gym, thank God, because we both at the best gym, I think, in the world, guy.
It's a dope gym.
We've been all around. That gym is sexy, from the lighting to the machinery. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to Move Gym Melrose. It's the place to be.
Not bad at
Very
all.
nice.
Not bad
I
at
want to
all.
go straight to the beginning. When you grew up,
Yes, sir.
a young man, talk to me about the family dynamics and whether health and wellness was part of the family life growing up.
Well,
Take a sip of this.
yeah.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, take a sip of the cappuccino for the cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom and dad, well, my mom, she never pursued it, but she was a ballet dancer. So she had some of that sort of athleticism
Okay.
in her background. My dad was a cyclist. He used to play all sorts of sports with us. I mean, obviously growing up in the township and that sort of thing, you weren't exposed to certain things, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the old Sophia town, Westbury, and then Eldorado
Shout out.
Park.
Shout
Shout out.
out.
And then moved all the way to the south to Innerdale, and then
Shout
moved to towards the north because the trek for school and that sort of thing was a bit hectic. But Pops was a big fitness fanatic.
And then mum was also, because ballet, listen, ballet, not everyone can do ballet.
Yeah.
Technique.
Yeah.
Ballet,
That is very hard. Very, very difficult.
And I think we're lucky also to have some of that in our foundation, because once you got technique as a dancer,
Yeah, that's it.
bro, when I hit you pirouette or
That's
demi or whatever.
That's it.
Like, I think I'm one of the only male trainers that hit the like, I got a lot of female clients. I'm like, lady, it's going to first. And
Yeah,
do a
there we go.
demi plie. I'm like, what?
They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know.
fit the pelvis, let's get the posture up. You know, we did that.
There we
did
go.
that.
That's part of
And-
the technique, 100%.
And we were probably some of the only, like we've got friends of all genres and persuasions.
Yeah.
We are some of the only two straight guys amongst. So yeah, I
The
mean,
industry's like that. Yeah, the industry's
but
like
but
that.
beautiful people. I mean,
Beautiful
across
people.
across the land.
Absolutely.
So, at what age were you like, maybe I want to get into this entertainment, fitness, dance? What was your earliest dream, if you can go back there?
Well, with fitness and that sort of thing, like I said, Pop's always kind of like he was on the cutting edge when it came to certain things. Like rollerblades weren't a thing in the townships, and he got us rollerblades, and he got us skateboards and that sort of thing. We used to play soccer in the fields, and we used to smash everybody. So much so that these guys used to come and throw bricks on our roofs and
What?
whatnot because he used to get very upset.
So his junior team there.
Junior team, 100%. And
Yeah.
it was my younger brother, me, I'm the middle child, and then my older brother, my dad, always child the guys. Eh?
I'm also a middle child. That's how we
Explains a lot.
connected.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
There we go. And then, so, I mean, you know, he'd always, we were active boys anyway.
Yes,
so
yes.
we took up a lot of different types of sports, soccer, cricket. We used to do swimming and a bunch of different things, basketball. And so, I mean, like the fitness thing was always there. My mom, I mean, my dad's always been healthy as well, but my mom on her side of things, she's the one that introduced all of the, these natural remedies, you know what I mean? And what the spices do for inflammation and how it can
Wow.
speed up in recovery,
Wow.
that sort of thing. So I
Okay,
get
so
that from the folks.
So
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
healthy
yeah.
eating wise and stuff.
Pretty healthy eating wise, as well. Yeah, I mean, like you would have thought that our
The
family
flavors,
was
and I'm sure.
absolutely.
So your mom can hook up a nice curry there.
Listen, man, I had a friend of mine who was like, my nonna made this pasta and she showed me the recipe and it's an 8-hour recipe. And when we tasted it, it was like, nah, guy. Hey, I can show you what Mrs. Jafta taught me and the same kind of vibe, and I'll make it for you in like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? But healthy. And you would have thought that our family, because of what we eat, we eat a lot of Italian food.
Yes, yes.
Obviously, like everything else as well, but like the staples, obviously pasta. Well, not
Yes, yes,
obviously,
yes.
but pasta and that sort of thing. So I guess we had a balance when it came to like eating healthy and being what do you call it? 100% when it comes to like our vitamins and all
What's
of
your
those
go-to
type of
meal?
things.
Like if you got to think back to like, like we all, there's like a celebratory meal. Like if you've had, let's say you just got the job, casting or whatever, and you sort of, normally the
Like a
food is
cheat meal.
attached. So what's your meal that you go to celebrate?
Hey man, Ecclewise in Fordsburg, close to
AK.
No, not the AK. I don't know if they do the AKs. This is the original one, the OG, the guys that started it all off, and then the rest kind of like
Yes.
affiliated and
I know
whatever.
that place.
Yeah.
We've traveled miles to get there on a
That's it.
Friday there.
Gotta
Okay.
wait for 1:00 so everybody
yeah.
does their prayers and whatnot,
yes.
and then you can go and get your stuff.
So
So I'd get a Russian special.
Yeah.
I get a piece of fish. The fish is like I've never tasted fish that amazing, and it's just from a little corner shop. And Joburg, where
You're
there
making me
is
drool, bro, 'cause now I'm thinking
Brubski.
about, I'm getting flashbacks of that AK, bro. Yo,
It's as big as long, eh?
I lost you the whole
Did you
time,
manage?
bro.
Did you finish the thing?
Look, I split it up.
Split it up. But
Like
can you
lime
finish
to-
it?
Yo,
We gotta maybe do one of that in the podcast. Bring a full AK and see who's gonna, who's gonna
what
win.
is- do you remember that guy, Anthony Bourdain?
Yes.
He traveled the Cook's Tour.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite shows ever. And in fact, I still would love to do a show. You've got to travel a lot and do stuff like that, but just travel around the world, taste the food, taste the culture, do fitness there as well.
Yeah,
Find out what connects with what,
Yeah.
because I've always loved food. I
Yeah,
think the
yeah,
reason how I got into training was this. I was reading this book and it says you can eat up to 8 times a day or whatever. I was like, nah. Really? Yeah, the more you eat, I'm like, shit, this is the thing for me, bro.
Right.
Because
Right.
no one's going to tell me I'm greedy. As in
Now
the
you've
hood.
gotta-
In the hood, there was nothing about, hey, you got a fast metabolism.
Yeah.
Don't leave something for
Yeah.
leave something for your brother, your sisters, bro. They'll always be finished and waiting for the second helpers, bro. Scrowl.
Scroll, bro.
But someone should have told me, this kid is gifted with an awesome metabolism.
That's
now
it.
that I've studied sports science and all this stuff, I'm like, it's a fast metabolism, it's a gift.
That's it.
Let him eat more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
but
man,
also,
no-
I mean, like during those times, I don't know how it was for
One
you,
meal
but
a
it's also,
day.
it's like, hey,
Yeah,
but like
one-
some like a portion of meat, you know what I mean, and a little bit
exactly.
of gravy. Hey, but if it's done, it's done. There's some
like-
bread.
That's
loaves
not
of
extra
butter.
bread. That's not extra bread. Like a bread with every meal.
How many loaves of bread did you guys used to go through in a day?
Guy, bro.
You said you
Look, we had hard times though. But if I say the more we had, we would go through all of them.
yeah, 100%.
At the worst, because we only had a mum, right? Dad passed away when I was young, so we had a point where we'd go to the bakery at about 5 in the morning before school. We'd line up because where I grew up there was shortages,
All right.
and we'd buy the bread. Now there's 5 of us, so you got to cut. If it's fresh, you got to cut it fresh because if it's fresh,
Yeah.
it's crunches.
That's
bro.
it. That's it. And you can't squeeze. You can't.
now
There's
there's
a
that-
technique.
Yeah, but now there's one loaf for all of us for the whole day. For before school, mum's at work, so then lunch, whatever's left.
So-
So if not, you're waiting for supper.
Yeah.
One meal, bro.
Yeah.
Now I know why I was so hungry.
Yeah. You weren't eating, boss.
I should have had a loaf to each of us. That's your loaf. That's your loaf. Do you know what I'm saying,
know
bro?
exactly what you're
but I
saying.
mean, mum did her best, so what else
Of
can we
course,
do?
of
Now we know
course,
better.
of course. Look, our parents do the best with what they know how to do it with. You know what I mean?
That's why the show is so important, because everyone's got a story.
That's it.
And like, we got to shout out our hood. We got to shout out our parents. We got to give thanks for
That's
making
it.
it this far. We got to
That's
thanks to the
it.
Creator that
That's
we
it.
made it out and that we still are here.
Yeah.
And so much more is possible.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're young, you're playing all the sport. Did you have any role models that you looked up to at a young age? Did you know what you wanted to do?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, it's this. All of this is going to go back to your second question, I think, as to like how I used this or how this became part of what it is that I wanted to do and that sort of thing. I didn't think that I was going to get into the industry. In fact, I mean, like with all kids, you know what I mean? You're kind of finding yourself and trying to see what your passions are and your strengths. I think it's a little bit unfair for children to know what they want to do. You know what I mean? This is it. I mean, the schooling system and that sort of thing is so archaic. It doesn't really leave any sort of room for creativity, because you can't put a fish into a tree and expect it to swim. You know what I mean? That's from one of the greatest minds, Einstein. He's like, yo, you got to put people where they can flourish.
Yes.
So
And we're also different, each individual.
that's it.
You know?
That's it. So I mean, I eventually went to KES, where, I was obviously doing my academic studies and that sort of thing, but I really got good at art. And I got, for the first time,
You went to school for art.
I eventually went to school for art, but this is how it happened, is I applied for art class too late at King Edward VII's school.
Yeah.
And I kind of, the bug sort of bit because I got full marks for a painting, which is unheard of.
Okay.
The teachers were like blown away by this painting, and I was like, no one's ever told me like I had this gift.
It was a mistake, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're more in academic.
Yeah, at the time.
Because before, back in the day, they didn't allow us to do art and...
Yeah.
Because either you're
exactly.
woodwork, metal guy, and you're too shy to be like, because they tell you you're stupid. You're the academic. I'm like, why can't I do both? Why can't I draw and do science and math?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're saying... So do you remember what that piece of art was?
I do. It was a painting of was it the lady? It was either Monet or Manet. I can't remember exactly. Like I really love those two artists, but I did a rendition of I don't know if the painting's called The Lady. I can't remember exactly, but I know the painting that I did. That was the one, and I wasn't accepted because it was too late, and so I changed schools so I could do art and focus on art. And I've convinced my folks. I was like, I didn't think school was for me, man. It was just like, I love my friends and, the camaraderie and the relationships that were built, but it was just not a place. I wanted to get out. I wanted to be creative. I wanted to do something with my hands and like get my vision out.
Create, how to manifest, how to balance a check,
That's
how
it.
to run your account.
That's it.
How to
run your home. How to do your taxes.
How to treat people. Like, I mean, they taught us a lot, but a lot of history about some things, but not everything.
Yeah, and some of the history that we were also taught, and now that we're starting to see is like, there's some real history coming because the history is told by the victors, and the victors will always tell their story. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a beautiful thing to see people's eyes opening.
Thank God, bro.
That's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
So, man. I mean, eventually I changed schools from NSA to, from KIS to the National
NSA.
School of Arts. And at the time I was playing football, soccer.
You could play soccer there. You probably had
actually,
one
we
of a
had a
couple.
team.
Did
We had
you
a
like
team.
only
We
two
actually
guys in the whole? four, two guys in the.
Listen,
50 ladies, two guys.
it was a little bit of a struggle because it was like, yes, like all of these guys have music lessons. People are doing art. They're having to show the galleries. And it's like, hey, how's this team going to work? But we had a couple of games and the team, I mean, we had some good players as well. But like, it just didn't, it wasn't a sports school. You know what I mean? But I played.
NSA. I wish we had an art school where we were from because I'm half South African, half Zimbabwean. So where I grew up, I was just trying to come and get to where my grandfather and dad came from. And there was no art school.
Yeah.
Our art school was underneath a light pole.
Yeah.
In the hood, Arcadia.
Crazy.
So every night we'd gather the kids around and like my front porch with the concrete would be where we dance every day.
That's so dope.
After school, the lights, guys knew come.
That's so dope.
Yeah, we go and dance. So I represent a whole nother hood. But I always needed to come home and find out where did my grandpa come from, where this. I came to chase my heritage.
Right.
So yeah, you guys had National School of Arts and Thalia, you remember Thalia?
Yes.
Mama of my kids?
Yes.
She was privileged enough also to go to the art school. So
yeah, we had some great alumni there.
yeah, we had
that
so
laid
many
the foundation.
friends.
Yeah.
So many friends that went to the art school. This Brandon Polycut, great actor. So many. But anyway, so there you are at the art school. Now you're drawing, you're sketching, blah, blah, blah. So they doing the guitar lessons, the acting stuff, and you sketching. It's so funny how things have turned out now.
Yeah.
So tell me how that was.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it was fun. The musos and the art students were a little bit more integrated than the rest of everyone else because there were certain classes like business, English, and Afrikaans that we took together. In the background, I was still playing soccer with certain clubs and that sort of thing, and I really wanted to pursue that because that's my first love.
Okay.
Is football.
Favorite soccer team?
Local Ajax, local Pirates.
Yeah.
Internationally, Arsenal. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna get a lot of boos in the comments.
No. Listen,
we won in the weekend. Eh?
Wait, guy, let me show you my loyalty. Local Kaiser Chiefs, International Man United.
Hey, bro,
I'm loyal, guy.
we gotta be there when they're losing, brother.
I'm loyal.
There we go. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so-
I still had in the background. I mean, I played trials with the late Dennis Lotter, who was a part of. Was he married to my cousin or he was engaged to my cousin? One of the two. But he was seeing my cousin, and I was invited to come and play with them while I was still at NSA.
Okay.
And I went there.
You had
and-
some skills.
yeah, I had some skills. I went there and they were like, dude. They were like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then they got me trials for IX and Pirates.
What?
And by the time I was supposed to do the trials, I had already left. So school came to an end.
What?
And I was like, I want to get out of South Africa. Not because I hate South Africa. I love South Africa. Best place in the world, best people in the world, best food in the world, best everything. Just, you know.
But you took a
government
gap
and
year.
politics. Yeah, not gap year. It was 3 years of voluntary work with
Voluntary
Youth for
work.
Christ.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that because when we first connected, I remember talking to you about the Spirit was in your home. Like, God was always present in your home.
Yeah,
Was your
yeah.
dad a pastor? Or?
Yeah.
So I remember
Good
us
memory, bruv.
No, because I remember us driving to. We got this big gig together. We got this advert for a British bank, but it was massive, and all the top dancers in the country were
It was
hired.
like, yeah, we had like, it was a cost of like three and a half thousand.
We
people
took over
or
the
something.
whole of city of Joburg
Yeah.
for how many weeks, bro?
2 weeks.
It
week?
was like
I
a
can't remember. 3
massive-
weeks. It was massive.
Mardi Gras.
Halifax.
Yeah.
Halifax.
What?
Halifax. I was
Dude,
thinking.
I still
was
remember us
thinking, okay.
performing with trains. It was like a carnival. And then I remember them playing the song that was there was like a dance song that was playing, and then the some of the production people were like, oh, the girl who sings, she just won some sort of local competition overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what is her name, by the way?
Kelly Clarkson.
No.
Adele.
Adele.
That was Adele.
Yes. Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson.
I did something with Kelly Clarkson as well, so I was just trying to think
Yeah,
because
no.
it was so way back, and
No,
I think you were a part of that as well.
Yes. So now here's how we got to introduce to Adele in a break.
Yeah.
She had short hair, and you and I were chilling because you and I were like always together. Roaming.
I remember you were like the proper big brother. There was a dude that came there, was trying to do some things, and you were like, hey. I was like, there's the boss. There's the boss. I was like, yeah, don't try funny things here, but
So I had to have you back because we were together there. And the Lord was in the midst of you. We were like,
100%.
and so she came to stand between us, and I still remember her being so friendly.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kaz, and this is
yeah,
Chris.
yeah.
We were like the awesome twos wherever we were together in
yeah.
a kingdom to business. And later to see her blow up, I'm like,
Man.
hey, she just won a Grammy.
Man.
She's our homie.
Mad.
And how happy for her.
Mad. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. It's
Sure.
always good to see people win, and it's good to see good people win. That's an amazing thing.
That
Yeah.
was an intense ad because we had a lot of
It was,
rehearsal.
brother, the blisters.
Bro,
Remember those Supigas? Were they Supigas that we had to be in for all of those weeks, bro?
There were different sections.
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
tapped.
Yeah.
It was like the old school Fred Astaire and Kelly type stuff. With the cases and the ba-da-ba-ba.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a dope.
good
We
times.
worked, bro.
We worked.
We worked.
Good times, though.
Good times.
Good times. Okay, so
Always good to remember where we come from. Always good. And it's
so that's what we talked about. Back to what that's what I knew about your dad because you pick me up, we go together.
Yes.
Every day we go
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Because you were that close. You were like right across.
around the corner.
Yes, like right by the Linksville Clinic there.
Yes. She
Good
came,
grief,
picked me
you're
up.
bringing all of these memories back. Oh my
drive
gosh.
there,
Yes.
listen to our music,
yes,
chat.
yes.
And back and forth. Okay, so sure. So that's why I knew about the spirituality, and I was like, okay, so we connect on that as well.
Yes.
Because sometimes people look at us and they think these guys think they're too cool for themselves.
Yeah, too cool for school.
But we're like, listen, no, we actually are real. We're down to earth. We just want to be nice to everyone, and that's why I'm so happy for your success. That's why today's about giving you flowers. You know what I'm saying? It's like we both went on and amazing things happened. Even shout out Trevor Noah from the crew.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
everyone that's gotten out the hood that is doing their thing because we've been typecast,
Yeah.
especially from the colored community. They just expect us to be fighters and sorters and everything else. Yes, there's been a sheer fights and stuff, but that's behind.
Yeah.
Now we fight for peace,
Yeah. That's it.
and
That's
you learn.
it.
You know, you
That's
learn
it.
and you grow. So it's also about encouraging people from where we come from and everyone else out there is
Yeah.
get your knowledge on point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your heart on point.
Yeah.
Get your spirit on point.
Absolutely.
Watch what you think, say, do, because you can manifest. You are manifesting by default or on purpose.
That's it. 100%. You got to watch your thoughts. Your thoughts become words. You watch words. Words become actions. Watch your actions. Your actions become your destiny.
That's what I'm saying. So now you take these few years and you're traveling around the world. Tell us about that.
That was amazing, man. But like, you could get so caught up in the hype of what's happening around you. I mean, we were treated really well. We were welcomed really well. We used to go into the most remote places. We used to go into the most rural villages. We used to sleep in some huts sometimes, treated like kings and queens, where, you know, our beds would be made perfectly. We'd have our mosquito nets. They'd come in the mornings with like a piece of metal that like resembles an iron but was put on a fire, and it's not an iron, you know what I mean? To come help do your thing.
There's iron we had at home.
Yes, my man. And then
put on the stove,
yes, that's it. And you go outside and like there's a big bath of water that's behind, like, you know, your reeded area where they and it was just like so many special moments, so many special things, absolutely humbling, and show like from where we come from. That's where we come from, you know what I mean? So it's good to especially at that age, youngsters, to travel and to explore different cultures so that you can appreciate where you come from. You can learn about other people, other cultures. You can respect people from different views and opinions and different nations and different cultural backgrounds and traditional backgrounds. It just opens your world and your horizon. So I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew that during our training before this, it was like 3 months of intensive training where they were like, guys, so we're preparing you for cultural shocks. A lot of you are going to be shocked culturally, but like when I went into various parts of the world, I mean like the most rural parts of Lesotho, Mozambique, Botswana, then to big city life in Europe and Germany and Italy and then America. None of that was a cultural shock for me because I was just wanting to explore and like learn. I was thirsty. I was really thirsty for that. So we basically trained and put together a show that was about 1.5 hours long. Teaches on the history of South Africa, HIV and AIDS, racism, all of that good stuff. We also,
how did you get to be part of this?
It's a group called Youth for Christ, and my cousin actually was a part of it. So my parents were like, yo, you're not going to be a part of it.
Did you audition or did you?
Yeah, you go for an interview and that sort of thing, and they see what it is that you want to do, and then they'll take you on. So they need to see if you've got a heart for people, because the whole premise is that we're raising money for HIV and AIDS orphanages. So what is it that you're coming here for? Are you coming with a heart for people? Because this is what we're going to be doing, and then we'll do it through art, dance, drama, industrial theater, and that sort of thing. And we were treated like superstars. Everybody always looked forward to this particular group coming to their communities and cities and that sort of thing, and there'd always be new people. Sometimes, depending on how long you would stay with a group, you'd be with the same team or you'd go with a different team. The first year for me was Sub-Saharan Africa and Lesotho, and then the first year, that was the first year. Second year was Europe and America, and then the third year was America again. We pioneered in Cali. The group hadn't been to California just yet. So it's easy. It could have been very easy for me to get stuck in that because that's where the acting bug bit. It was the third year in California. I mean, yes, there was a lady that came to. There were people that always used to come, and there'll be people that praise your performance and ask whether or not you focus on this, or maybe you should look at getting into this and that sort of thing. It wasn't necessarily that made me think, oh, this is now what I need to do. It was just one lady that had spoken to me at the end of our tour. And she was like, have you ever considered pursuing this? Like, I think there's something there for you, like beyond what you may realize. And I didn't think anything of it.
Kind of like the art.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was a fine artist now, but I'd never danced in my life before. I'd never acted in my life before. I mean, I was green. A pretty greenhorn. And towards the end of it, I mean, like, we flourished and we thrived, and we became the best team with regards to our performances and that sort of thing. And when I got back after that third year, my mom was like, "Hey, you're not gonna get comfortable in this environment. Yes, it's great, and it's a stepping stone for you, but you can't get stuck and complacent in a place that is now feeling like, oh, you know,
All this temptation,
you-
all this ego.
that's it.
Your mom wanted you to be more
You need
grounded.
to keep moving forward.
Yes.
Keep moving forward, and there's more to life than getting
Yes.
stuck. And it's not like look, different strokes for different folks, but she knew that my journey wasn't all about that, and that I needed to continue forward to see what else life had for me.
Yes.
So she didn't want me to get stuck in that zone, which is very easy for a lot of people to do. When I was done with that, she told me about African Footprint auditions when I came back from the States. I had seen it 2 years prior with this show.
I still remember interviewing with my TV shows. They were more the first year African Footprint. They were at the Goldie City.
Ah, yes,
I got
yes,
that on
yes.
tape somewhere.
No
guy.
way.
Bro.
No way. No way.
I promise you, guys.
That is mad.
You know,
That is mad.
that's how long I've been in this industry for. That's what my name's Abraham. So anyway, so your mom tells you about African Footprint, yeah?
And she's like, you need to go and audition for it. And bearing in mind that with the organization Youth for Christ, we had watched it 2 years prior, because they would expose us to theater, because a lot of us hadn't seen theater before. Just obviously to, you know, become cultural, and then to see what it is that we're going to be doing, and what it looks like from an audience's perspective, and that sort of thing. So, where was I now? Where are we going?
Your mom said African Footprint?
Ah, yes.
You're going to go into audition for African Footprint.
Correct. So 2 years prior, I'd watched it and I was blown away.
Yes.
I'm like, what a show! I'm like, this is
The energy.
This is South African excellence, like African excellence at its peak.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way I'd ever be in that show.
Yeah.
There's no way. This is just, I could never see myself doing what these guys do on stage. And then I went for the auditions thinking I was hot stuff. I had my little track. I had choreographed the number. Thought I was gonna.
What style are you busting?
I was gonna do hip hop.
Okay.
Because that's what I thought. I thought that's how we were gonna audition. But then they called us into the class, and there were a lot of people, and they were like,
Choreography.
"Yeah, bro." But before the choreography, we're going back to now. You knowing the jargon and terminology when you're telling people, and they're like,
What is
"Hey, I
happening?
didn't know you know that. Good grief!" Yeah, but they're telling me to roll down for 8, up for 8,
Up
side
for
for
8,
8, turn doing
four,
first, second,
turn.
third, fourth. I'm like,
Put away it, what?
I'm like, what is going on here, man?
Yeah.
I was lost,
Yeah,
completely
me too.
lost. I just like, when they were rolling down, I rolled down with
Yeah,
my
you just-
eyes on everyone
you
to see
just-
what they need to do.
I remember. Yeah.
And then, I mean, you know, where God wants you to be is where if God wants you to have something, you will be at that point at the right time in your life.
Like the definition of luck, preparation meeting opportunity.
That's it.
It ain't really
100%.
luck the way you think it is.
That's it.
But you have to be prepared for the opportunity. When it opens up, there you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there you are.
100%.
But they could tell your enthusiasm, right? Because his brother was
I was enthusiastic, bro.
rolling with the best in him.
That's the thing. Rolling with the best
I'm
of
going
them,
to
like,
get this job.
my man. I'm like doing the things. Hey, everybody just thought I was lazy because they like, this guy's got all the facility. Look how tall facilities. Look how tall he is. His
Yes,
legs and whatnot. I mean, like, I was also flexible, but I didn't have the strength for the flexibility to like be able to keep my legs there, or you know, if you
hadn't done it before.
nothing. So we went through like basically they were we were all learning the show, and various dancers would be let go. Like, they'd be tapped on the shoulder to say, listen,
I know
sorry
that.
you didn't make it.
That's the craziest.
That's so bad, bro.
You're
Like, it's so hard.
You're waiting. Right, that's the worst.
It's the worst. And I was with them. We had still been, well, we had now learned the show, and there were still dancers being let go and new dancers coming in because a very particular show.
Yeah.
And then I made it, man. I made it, and I was with them for a year. The second cast.
What is the feeling when they said, Chris?
It was.
How did they break it to you, though? How did they say that you were chosen?
I think we so we had a performance that we were going to be doing for the choreographer as well as our producers and directors.
Yeah.
And
Kiss rehearsal.
yeah,
Kind of thing.
yeah. And still, they were telling people coming. They were getting dancers in and out, and just before the performance, we had a meeting, and Debbie spoke to us, and she was like, "Okay, well, guys, so as you know, today is going to be a first with your audience, this, that, and the other. You've been working really hard. I see everybody's really looking the part and whatnot." And then she gave us some advice, and she was like, "Well, this is the first cast. Congratulations. Have a fantastic performance. We were like, whoa. And then I worked my way up. I used to speak to some of the leads and come in early and ask the guys to show me and teach me the choreography and whatever the case may be. And amazing individuals who were so generous and kind and giving. And they did. And I would go to management and I'd be like, I'm ready. I know this thing. And they say, okay, come in tomorrow. We're going to set up the stage. Let's see if you can do it. And they'd come and I'd do it. And they'd be like, okay, well, we're going to fix the schedule now and then put you.
Being proactive.
You have to be, brother. You have to. You have to go out and get it.
Yeah,
what does Pacino say? The inches are all around us.
Yes.
No one's going to give it to you.
Yes.
You got to take it.
Got to take it.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
For real, man.
Hey, but listen, I mean, besides, you know, we can get all egotistical and driven by saying, hey, we got to go and take it and whatnot. But beyond all of that, like we're saying with luck and whatever the case may be, it's all God, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All God.
100%.
Everything I am, everything I've done, all the successes is all attributed to the King of Kings, the Father.
Okay.
That's it for me. Every part of my life has been a complete miracle.
And did you find that there were moments where you weren't as focused on your faith?
Yeah.
And what type of things happened in your life? Was let's go back to your, before we go to the highs, was there a low that made you feel like giving up or feel worthless? And what changed it? What changed and changed your mind?
Yeah, absolutely, man. As artists,
think back.
yeah, absolutely. As artists, we go through a lot. Everybody's got their own unique stories and experiences. But yes, man, there'll be times where, I mean, I have always had this never say die, never give up attitude, always persevere, keep pushing, keep going. Unless, obviously, it's a bad habit, then don't keep going, don't keep pushing.
Yeah, you know.
That mentality has been tested many times.
Yes.
I mean, getting into the industry is just talking about that.
Yeah.
First as a model. Didn't see anything for 4 years, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
Not a single job.
I was talking to someone about the day I was going to walk out to Mission, because we started in the industry together. The day I was going to give up.
That's when it happened.
But I went in with a different attitude. And
kind of like let it go, right? Weren't like wanting to hold on and chase it.
Because I was super metro, super this. That day I was like, I don't give a damn. Like I said to him, I let the goatee grow, I let my hair loose, and I just went zany. Like the person you know, the me.
Yeah.
And the guy booked me, and I was like, why wasn't I that all along? We were so tense, tightened up the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes a while.
It takes a while, but like those are good lessons, right? Because we figure it out as we go. Like,
but isn't it like that thing about 10,000 hours or 10 years to be an overnight sensation?
That's it. That's it. 100% with the
every time you're learning.
Exactly.
You know, if
exactly.
You don't give up eventually.
Exactly. That's a similar thing that happened with me on the presenting side of things. When they first had like that top billing presenter search, it was first a top billing presenter search. I went for it, but like I was emulating someone. I was like,
yeah, because when I met you, you were a dancer.
Yeah.
I knew you met you as a dancer. I done the TV work and I done that thing.
Yes.
So, but I saw that personality, so we talked.
Yes.
I also remember saying like I knew you could do more than that.
Right.
There was a personality there.
Right.
And the super charming there. I remember we had moments.
We had moments.
Yeah. So, I mean, take us to the story about the presenting, how the presenting happened, how the acting happened, because like me, it started off with just the dancing and it went into the modeling. So talk about the different steps.
Yeah, so the different steps to the whole, well, obviously it started with dancing was my first professional gig, even though I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
This was after the voluntary stuff. And then the singing came after that. I could sing, but I needed to tighten up. I needed to refine my craft. I needed to do some lessons to figure out.
Theatrical vocals is different.
Exactly. 100%. Musical theater the vocal is very different. So I had to build on that because if you wanted to do any sort of leading roles in musical theater, you have to be a triple threat.
Yes.
if you're a good singer, you can do leading roles, and if you're a good mover, that's fine. But if they know you as a really good dancer, you got to get strong on the singing. The acting thing, of course, they know you can do that and whatever, but you got to get really, really strong in the singing. So that's how it happened. And then the presenting thing, like I said, trying to emulate and people just want to see you. They want to see who you are. You know what I mean? Because you are the most unique version of that person
at that point,
in the world.
You just try to.
You don't know. You don't. You
kind of.
Yes, you want to emulate.
Yes,
exactly. And you think that, and you hear people say, "No, just be yourself, just be," and you're like, "What are you looking for?"
And there weren't many role models from our culture.
Yeah.
I remember when I came out, it was just me. I was the only.
Yeah, dude, you were like a pioneer for the young brainos, bit. For real, one time.
No, I mean, the thing is, there wasn't anyone for me to look up to. Like, when I think about it, I mean, people like Alex J, who was on Radio 5, his energy did inspire me because he was very like him and Jordan. They had a show on Friday, Pop Shop or something, some music show.
Got you.
I'd watch every music show. Like, I just sucked it all in. And his energy on TV. And then, okay, let me tell you about Alex here, because I'll give him his flowers quick. I was a dancer. Back in the days, there used to be a camel pyramid of light at the Standard Bank Arena.
Right.
Which is a big thing. And every year they'd hire like 8 dancers. And then the 1 year, 2 years, we were hired as the dancers. I had a crew called Jackson Fever. Because I was thin like Michael. So we were there, but I always wanted to get on that mic, bust a rhyme.
Right.
So I remember between one of the breaks, I see the DJ up there. He's like elevated. It's like lazy. It's like a light show.
Yeah.
Hey, every day I'm like, I want to go and say hi to the song.
Yeah.
Hey, next day, like, I don't even know where I'm going. Next day I'm there by the DJ box. Like, hey, how your house, bro?
Yeah.
Third day, I greet him now. He's like, come in. I'm like, yes, I can. And I'm behind him.
Brilliant.
So I was like, wow. Then he hits me with this. One day, he stops like, what are the dancers over here? And
nice.
He always wanted to be, in front of a full crowd. Like, I would say hi to everyone.
Nice.
Yo, I had a rhyme prepared.
There we go.
Give me a rhythm. Give me a beat and a rhyme. The rhymer will produce when I begin to shine. I'm like platinum, stronger than silver or gold. When I'm on the mic, my voice is bold, bold. Like the walls from China, cause the bowlers in my voice gets higher and higher. Yo, I look down there, bro. I see my fellow dancers looking at. That's Cass's voice. Cass on the screen. He thought he was just going to put it. He thought I was going to say hi.
Yeah.
Yo,
he did the thing.
He gave me the opportunity. I was bit, bro.
Brilliant.
From that moment. So that's what started me. And him being so gracious and kind. Because, not everyone's going to hand you the mic.
Yeah.
He gave me an opportunity. And he probably doesn't even remember me. Or maybe he saw me later. And I had one moment of seeing him and like, you inspired me. But maybe he didn't know me. Maybe he does know me. But if he does see this, I want him to know that he gave me that first opportunity on that microphone.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, man, and that's a good lesson for us to all take away from that.
Okay, so
is to always be kind,
bro. You never know.
You never know what you're doing for the next person. You never know how you inspire the next person.
So I show him. I always I'm giving him his flowers and Brenda Fassi. She gave me. I was a dancer. I was a little brother.
Amazing.
So if you find the video of Bump, you're gonna see Kaz with scroll like this in that video. Okay, so you're going from dancing, musical theatre. You're up in African Footprint. Now the presenting kicks off.
Yes.
What is that first presenting job you get?
So 2010, I tried to emulate someone and it didn't work. So I didn't even get a call back. And then they had another one. And this time around, my folks were like, you should go and try it. And I was like, nah, man, the presenting thing is not really for me. I'm an actor and a dancer and I'm going to do that. But I don't really want to be like,
because you haven't found your gear yet.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, no, you should go and give it a go. So I was like, okay, fine, let me go. This was the one, I don't know if they had like over 10,000 auditionees and that sort of thing. So it was like super intense.
Yeah.
I was in Cape Town at the time, went for my auditions. It went well. They let me know, hey, you made it through to like top 100. Hey, happiness and
Presenter
whatnot.
search, right?
Presenter search. This time they're looking for three presenters because they got 3 spots for different shows.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's do this thing. And then I was supposed to do that same audition in front of the judges now, and I kind of like hit a little bit of a.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, cool, thank you. And, I saved it. And they were like, oh, that's good. And whatever.
You still felt like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what I did was, this time around, I was like, okay, if you want Chris, you're going to get Chris. You're getting nothing else but Chris. I'm leaving it there.
You have to.
If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, it's okay. But
at least I threw it all.
And that's me.
Exactly.
If you like it, you don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's where I needed to get to that. That's it. That's
Being
it.
brave enough to just be vulnerable.
Brave. Courage.
It's not easy to be
it.
Naked like that, bro. Okay?
That's it. So I did my thing, and they were going back and forth, and like, nah, and then they cut me. But with hindsight, it feels like when, you're creating a show, you got to create a little bit of hype. So you're going to be like, okay, some of these people aren't going to make it, but we're going to keep a spot open and just tell them there's a wild card, and people are going to be a little bit more drawn in and whatever the case may be. So that's what they did. And then I ended up, because they were like, oh, sorry, you didn't make it. I was like, whatever. I still had some top comedians in the country like message me and be like, we saw you at the back there going, I didn't make it. I'm like, what are you smoking, dude? Like, and why is it so important to you, like my journey? Like, you know what I mean? And if you're going to say those kinds of things, what's the heart full of? Why isn't there anything good coming from there?
That's the truth, because
Exactly.
You want people to reveal who they are.
And the
only reason why we still yet together is because we all kept it real.
That's it.
No matter where each one of us was.
That's it.
We're like,
gotta keep it real. And it's the moments where you can lose it, but like I'm sure, like with me, I'm sure you also have a support system, like my parents, my like pillars of accountability, and my rock. You know what I mean? Where I can bounce things off of them, and they tell me the truth without any feeling sort of vindication towards me or
there's a genuine unconditional love there.
That's it. And they only want the best for me. So some of the truth is gonna hurt. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be like and through people like the ones that are closest to you, you're sometimes also you doubt certain things. Like if the career's not going the way it's supposed to, it's like, hey brother, what's going on here? You can't just be like sitting on your bum or whatever, which is,
and you also got to be careful about what to take from people, because even someone who that love you maybe don't know any better. It's about really also using your intuition and then your faith and being as honest as possible with yourself. Okay, so what does the shout out when they call you back? Now you think you cut.
Yeah, so I think I'm cut, and I'm like,
these guys are dissing you, like, and you're feeling shit because it was almost there.
It was almost there, but now I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, okay, this thing's not for me. Let me just, I tried. It is what it is. Let me just let it go. And then they were like, they called me back. Hey, listen, you actually a wild card. We're gonna pull you in. Blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, interesting. And when I got pulled in, I was like, okay, the gloves are off now.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. I'm in this thing to win it.
You called me back.
I'm in it to win it.
Yeah.
And then I was just being myself, so much so that this is exactly what happened. Some people were like, oh, what is this? Like, so over the top. Oh, my goodness. Like, but that's the stuff that got me through. Yeah. It's because, like, this one's different. It's unique. So just do you, boo. And I eventually, we got to the top 5 where we went to Zanzibar to do the last stint of the competition. There was
what is the show called? Or
it was Presenter Search on 3.
Presenter Search,
yeah. And then we were there, and I thought I was gonna get one of the spots. Yes. I thought I was gonna get one of the spots. The guys were amazing.
Yes.
The fellow contestants and that sort of thing. But I was like, nah, I got one of these spots.
Yeah.
And then they called the 3 names, and I didn't get the spot. And I was like,
how did that feel?
I was confused.
Now we're talking about that.
Yeah.
The momentum taking you up.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how it is to feel like,
like a blow.
Everything feels like, well, what's the point of anything?
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah. So that's what happened to me was like, I was confused. I was very confused. I was like, okay, then I must have been like really shit. Yeah. I must have been bad. You know what I mean? Mm. And then I watched
demons.
Yeah, exactly. But like the top guys were telling me not to worry because there was like some movement behind the scenes, and certain decisions that were being made because of what was happening with the various contestants, like in their lives in terms of their work, and you know what I mean. That was I was doing a show with SABC at the time, and the guys wanted me for they were writing me in now for the rest of the season, and so they were like, maybe hang 10 with that, because he's going to be taken away from this, so let him do this first, and that's allegedly. So they were like, keep your head up, man, like you were great, this, that, and the other, and I was like, wow, no, okay, it is what it is. And then I watched the show, and I was like, chalk and cheese. The last 2 episodes, I was like, chalk and cheese. My dad first, he was like, when I told him about it, I was like, I'm so confused. I don't understand what happened. Like, and he was like, hey, don't be ungrateful. Look where God brought you, and just give thanks for where you are and how far you've come. Yes. And it was a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow, because I was like, okay, but he's right. Yeah. He's right. Let me just breathe. I was very, very happy for the winners. Yes. Truly, like from the heart. It's not like one of those things where you're like, yes, and then in your mind you're like, but I was really happy for them. I was just very confused myself, and I was like, okay, but there's something now that you have to fix. Yeah. And then when I saw the final show, my dad called me and was like, what is this? This is chalk and cheese, man. You were clearly the best. I was like, wow, that's what I thought. But it wasn't about that. It was more about timing and the way it happened for me was the best way it could have happened.
Everything was connected.
It was the best way it could have happened. That's why everybody thinks I won, because eventually when they did announce me as winning, like I got so much media coverage. I also had my manager on it at the time, and it almost felt like this guy won the competition, which is not true. I didn't win. But that's how it started. And then after Top Billing, I was contacted by Rapid Blue for Dancing with the Stars, and then they told me, listen, we're going to need to buy you out, this, that, and the other, so your face can't be shown on any platform for the rest of the year, which was a little bit,
we know how that feels.
You know how it feels. And then it was a little bit of a tricky one for SABC.
Yes.
I knew that this is where I needed to go, because you have to grow as an artist. You have to keep on pushing the boundaries, and you have to keep on going for roles or opportunities that's going to better you, and also that's going to add to your
arsenal. Shake your comfort zone. But a lot of people sometimes want to see you in that box, but you know that I got to grow.
Exactly. And it's going to benefit every other client when you grow. So if you do come back, that was the thing, is if in that case, if I came back from Mnet, my star would have been brighter than it was when I left. So it would have benefited them if I came back. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, there were a little bit of politics there. Some people were hurt and whatnot. And I'm like, man, I thought I was still family. And if you were family to me, you'd want to see me succeed.
Exactly.
And then you'd welcome me back after.
Sometimes people want you to succeed, only on their terms, though. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because you don't know people's trajectory, right? And I've seen this happen time and again, is you may be looking down on an artist thinking you the big medulla and big shot and hard shot. You don't know where the trajectory of that individual is going. And that's not even just for artists. This is for individuals. This is for us as human beings.
Exactly.
So treat people good, treat them with kindness and respect, because who knows if they're going to be the ones lifting you up or whispering into the ear of these execs at one point saying, you know what, these guys were great to me when we worked together on these projects, A, B, and whatnot. Because I can tell you already, I've been approached by like some top individuals about certain individuals who either treated artists really great or really bad, and I have something to say about it. I can be like, you know what, this is how they operate. If you go with this, this is what you can expect. So if you're asking for my opinion and for my honesty with regards to this professional, well,
because if you're going to put your stamp,
exactly, then they're looking at you. Then they judge you based on that stuff is going to come back at you. So it's like, no, bro, be careful of this one, but why don't you try this one instead? And those people don't even know that those conversations are being had.
And the thing is, you get to a point in life, especially with your faith, where you realize that, and you know, it doesn't matter how big we get. At some point, we got to meet our maker.
That's it, brother.
It's like, and when that day comes, you can't take anything with you.
That's it.
No money, no fame, no nothing.
Nothing.
But what legacy are you leaving behind?
That's it.
So, like, when I realized that, everything became about, oh shit, excuse my language though, but it's an adult show. It's all about now. How authentic am I being right now?
Yeah.
Every moment matters, you
Yeah.
know. Complete awareness. How am I making that person feel? What would it be like from the other side?
Absolutely.
And when we was younger, we didn't know everything. But now, you know better, you do better.
That's it.
You know.
That's
but
it.
the one thing that's always in my mind is the moment I leave this planet. Like, nothing is going to be bigger than that. Because I do believe that no matter what we've done, we've got to face the piper.
100%.
You know, you can't run away from it.
Not running.
So right now it's about making as much amends as possible for things that I may not even know that I did.
Yeah.
But praying for forgiveness and
Absolutely.
a second chance for God's grace to guide me and use me
Absolutely.
to be of service.
Absolutely.
On that subject. So now things are growing now. You got this show, you're going there. Now what happens as you're saying goodbye? Because it's like bittersweet, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying goodbye. They saying goodbye.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I had your backs for the longest time, you know what I mean?
Yes.
There was I would miss funerals, like my uncle's funeral I missed because I was called up like 5 minutes before, hey, we got one of our presenters dropped us, can you come?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so all of these times that I had your back, come on, guys. But it's like, okay, you know what? Still love. You wish everybody well. And, you know, you just one foot in front of the other, treat people with kindness and respect. And always keep the door a little bit open because you never know how people's lives can change. And the way that we're able to change people's lives really, truly is when we let love be the precursor to everything that we do. Because love changes you, bruv. Like if just, you know, with someone that's coming at you like aggressively or, you know, like said something or whatever the case may be, and you come at them with like, hey, you respond with love.
Love can flip anything.
It just, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even if they're still in a zone, a little bit later or whatever, they'll go back and they'll think and they'll be like, they start to look at themselves in the mirror. It's not always the case, but love is a very, very powerful emotion.
It is the most important, guy. And it is one thing we leave the viewer with today. Just know that like love is the language.
That is it.
And the creator is love.
That's it.
You know, so, you know, we live and we learn, but I hope to take that away from us, that you can be strong, powerful, and loving. And like I was saying to Mishu as well, I've realized now the power of being gentle. Whereas we grew up in it to be like,
you have to watch out for yourself. Yeah.
Now, I got daughters, I got kids, about as gentle I can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to you. So you move on to this next phase. And the presenting kicks off. Take us now to the acting and how everything else takes off on that.
How it happens, yeah. So the presenting thing starts taking off. I do Dancing with the Stars, which was quite a hit. And then The Longest Date season 1 and 2 come along.
Yes.
First SAFTA nominations for Best Show and Best Presenter. Yes. And then thereafter, I mean, like I'd still been doing film and TV and theater, but at this point,
I was starting to take over now.
Yeah.
Because your theater was a good bread and butter.
Yeah, correct. So now because of the other work that I'm doing, I'm being a little bit more selective with regards to the shows that I do. Yeah. Because it takes you out of the game.
Everything affects everything.
Exactly. It takes you out of the game. Yes, you do have your days to yourself where you can do stuff, but I mean, like a lot of my stuff happens in the evenings, and that's where shows happen and whatever the case may be. So I usually just, it's got to be a good role, something that excites me and that I can say, okay, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice for this. Yeah. Because, I mean, like I love theater, but even with film, we're not really yet anywhere near the standards of the internationals when it comes to payments and like royalties and all of that sort of thing.
We take what we get for most of the time. It's not like we got we in LA where we can go to those top auditions.
And there's a set standard.
The movie's got to come here.
Yeah.
And, you know, must even stand a chance. And then normally it's going to be like in Cape Town, you know, because where the bigger theater is.
Yeah.
See what you're saying?
Yeah. So, basically where was I on now? The acting thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So from the presenting.
Preeminence. Dancing with the Stars is happening. Things are popping off. You're settling into yourself.
Settling into the presenting, that's going now, but still doing film and TV and that sort of thing, and being very picky when it comes to the shows that I do. The last one I did on stage was West Side Story, and there was one, the acting bug started biting a little bit again, the last 2 years, and I've been checking for some shows that I want to do. I've gone to 1 or 2 auditions and stuff, but it wasn't necessarily the shows for me. 1 or 2 of them that I did already.
Yeah.
Some others I wasn't probably right for, but Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is one that I'm going to be doing now. We're going to be running from May through to February next year.
Classic, eh?
It is a classic. So I'll be playing Pharaoh, Jacob, and Potiphar. It's going to be a nice one.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah. So the other stuff, I think the presenting thing was like the last thing in the entertainment game that I needed to take off.
Yes.
And then thereafter, I started working on the producing side of things. So I've been producing for about 6 years now. I don't have any of my shows up on TV or film as yet, but I've done some live stuff.
In eventuality,
Yeah, yeah.
We try to diversify as much as possible.
That's it.
I found that one thing I didn't realize is that you think once you got your break, it's all set up. But you don't realize that you can get overexposed. My game show took me off a lot of opportunities. Oh, he's the guy from Beatbox.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the guy from Channel or from Beatbox. So no matter how much I wanted or how much they wanted me, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then the plan was to go to school, so went into production school, everything from production runner to event to scripting to staging, to everything. I wanted to know the whole thing.
Yeah.
Till I started producing shows as well, like the summer festivals, the Metro FM
Brilliant.
tour. So basically being behind.
Yeah.
And then really learning how to respect every part.
Yeah.
And every part of the team.
Yeah.
From the gaffer to the this,
Yeah.
to the cook, to the chef.
Yeah.
That was completely humbling.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I remember there was a break from one of the shows, and I remember, we always go to gym every day, right?
Yeah.
So I remember coming home one day, and I've said this before to a previous guest as well, saying to my partner, like, yeah, I spend so much time at this gym, I should get paid for it. She was like, well, why don't you?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean, a personal trainer? Me?
Yeah.
A celebrity.
Yeah.
I thought, like, how can I become a mere personal trainer?
Yeah.
I looked down on that shit. But it's something that I loved.
Yeah.
Because even when I was in TV, all the people used to come to me for advice.
Right.
From the beginning.
Right.
Because I was always doing that. And I'd help people for free and help. So I was like, it was nagging me now when she said that to me. Because she was almost like she dared me, bro.
It's beautiful.
I was like, I felt stupid, guy. For a second now, like, what do I do? Anyway, things got to a point where God pulled everything away from me. And even the family split apart. And now I'm trying to find out, where do I go to? What do I do? Then I had this dream that you got to go back to who you are.
Yeah.
You're a dancer. You're a choreographer. Your health, your wellness. Because I remember I was the basketball team's mascot from about 8 years old.
Crazy.
So I remember training with these big guys. And it all started coming back to me. So I was like, let me just take a drive to the gym, see if I can start up a class. I had to get over my ego.
That's it.
Bro,
That's
I
it.
remember the first class. Did I tell you after making a lot of money, my first payment I got was 250 rand. Bro.
Yeah.
That was so humbling, bro.
Yeah.
But then I had Anthony Robbins' book. And the book was on each page of the book. You couldn't go to the next page unless you did something today. So it was like, what haven't you stopped today? So you had to face up to something. Some habit or something.
Yeah.
And then you move on to the next day.
Yeah.
So I had to cut all stuff. Like little things that you may not even know about. Anyway.
The stuff's important, bro.
Yeah, little things, bro. You cut them out, next thing. Okay, go there. And then he talked about, in one of his books, he talked about the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I hunted this book down. Small read. And in this book, it talks about this guy. He's sitting with his friend. And they're looking at their friend over there. It was like, how come he's got like 4 caravans? He'll be chilling out with one flipping thing. Wheels broken, the horse is limp. The guy says, I'm going to go ask him.
Yeah.
Goes to ask his buddy that he was at school. How did you accrue all this wealth and everything else? He says, you really want to know? Then he takes him on this journey. Where he goes to study with the greatest around the world. Similar to The Alchemist, that type of vibe. Mm-hmm. One of my other favorite books. And you basically gets taught through the trade that You basically, to earn your self-respect and everything else, you got to pay yourself 10% first. Like, as in, it doesn't exist. 10% to charity. You know tithing?
Yeah.
I thought tithing, why should I go to church to tithe? No, don't even have to be in church to tithe.
Yeah.
There's a law to the universe.
Yeah.
10% here, 10% there, and then 10% to your debt. Yeah. You go back to your debtors and be like, listen, I know I'm a bit late on my debt. I can afford to pay you 10% of what I earn a month. And then I did exactly what this book said. I slowly started building back up.
Brilliant.
Okay? So I thought, okay, let me get a foundation that's beside my entertainment that'll be a bit more consistent. I had no paperwork, except the acting, and I had nothing to go and get a job with, but I had kids now.
Yeah.
I had a house.
Yeah.
I thought, what do I do? And I'd lost everything. So I started working at the gym. And from the gym, I borrowed a friend's car because I lost the car even, bro.
Sure.
So going to the gym, teaching a dance class, and I got into the gym. I didn't have my paperwork yet. That I had to go and study, but I had to raise like 25,000 rand to study. I was like, no, how's this going to happen? But I started grinding, and every cent I made, I just put it in a Tupperware. That 10%, that 10%, that 10%. Till eventually built up enough to pay for me to go to school.
Brilliant.
Nobody even knew the hustle I was going through.
Crazy.
I finally get my family back because now they can say, okay, this guy's on a mission to,
Yeah.
So our main mission was with my partner. What have you always wanted to do? She always wanted to be a makeup artist. Me, I wanted to do this thing, but I don't want to be like just a celebrity that's training people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went and started doing the class. You go to school, I go to school. Bam, pay for it cash from these
Brilliant.
protein boxes that had cash in it,
Brilliant.
bro.
Brilliant.
Best thing ever. But bro, the hardest couple of years because I had to still go and work, then go to Gold Reef City, got a job here at my studio now. It's owned by my mentor, Petro Megos, who runs all the casinos and stuff like that. So he helped me get back to, now I'm at the casinos doing something that was natural for me on the mic. So I'm back doing what I started doing. On the mic, giving away cars.
Nice.
Bingo, bro. Listen, his legs delivering. Bruh, humbled.
Brother.
From there, straight to the gym. Sleeping like 2 hours a day, driving this borrowed car.
Man.
Till the point where I could eventually get the car again. Start going, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And finally passed. And the proudest day of my life to know that, yes, I've got the acting and the music and everything else, but now I've got paperwork that anywhere in the world I can go to and say,
I mean,
yeah. So if people been wondering where I'd been from now, I went and I had to put all my work into motion to get the results.
Yeah.
So the whole past 15 years getting results, and now I come back as a wellness professional. Not when we're on TV, they'll be like, okay, oh, he's just a joke, a comedian, or he's I'm like, no.
Exactly.
I wanted to come back and stand for what God has given me to do to make people well.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm an actor and I'm this, but right now it's about being of service. And that's about bringing you guys, people that have pulled wellness into their life to be part of success. And sorry, I took a bit of a journey.
No,
but that explains
okay.
how I had to go back and come forward.
Absolutely.
So here you are now. You got the job, you got the presenting. Now the acting bug kicks off. You got the theater happening. Where I think is now at the peak. What's the peak when you realize that, damn, I've made it?
The peak is when you realize you've never made it. So I don't ever say, damn.
But there's a moment before that, and you're like, okay. And then there's like, I talked to Misha about this as well. You get that biggest job and you feel empty, like nothing can fill up this.
Yeah.
No thing.
Listen.
Except inner peace and acceptance.
Hey man, listen, for me, with regards to that hole that and the void that needs to be filled, for me, the only person that can do that is Jesus. That's everybody's got different opinions and that sort of thing, but I know personally.
Yeah.
Like I've had the void, I've had the hole. Every man, every woman on the face of this earth has been endowed with eternity in their heart. Yes. God has placed eternity in every man, woman, and child's hearts. So there's going to be something there that you're crying for. Why? Because man is no longer in God.
Yeah.
Trees have the earth.
Yes.
Trees are in the earth.
Yes.
They need the earth to grow.
Yeah.
Fish need water. They need the ocean. They need fresh food, depending on the type of fish. They need to be in the water to survive. The reason why I feel like mankind, or a lot of the times, we feel these voids and we substitute it with either sex or alcohol or drugs or whatever the case may be. That's the whole for our creator, bro.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing.
That's what I'm
and it's
saying.
just up to us to connect.
Yeah.
And once we do, I mean, then you see the anxiety goes.
Yeah.
What's the other one called? Anxiety, depression.
Depression, stress.
Completely,
Yeah.
boom. Stress may go. Listen, man, it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be hard times and things aren't going to come at your door and you aren't going to go through trials and tribulations.
Yes.
But the kind of peace that you have when you're going through those, if you know that the creator of the universe, who's outside of time, space, and matter,
Yes.
is holding your hand through the waters and the fire, brother, there's
Yeah.
nothing to fear.
Because then it becomes about more, the goal is to be at the level of Christ consciousness, because and that's the most beautiful space to be. We know we're not perfect, but every day we strive to
Absolutely.
be more like that,
Absolutely.
and to try and look with the eyes of that Christ, like that enlightened
Absolutely.
and with non-judgment. It's hard, but I mean, that's the most humbling thing, to know that someone sacrificed everything for you.
Brother.
And many have done before. Some people people don't even know their names. There have been many enlightened people that have come here and
100%.
represented the most high.
100%.
And the truth is, yes, only with God, whatever you call God, the universal, the creator, the divine, only with that here can you be complete. Everything else is just things. It's
That's
just
it.
stuff.
That's it. I mean,
It's
like,
medals, and
that's it. That's why, you know, you hear people saying, yeah, it's fine, I'll cry in my Ferrari, this, that, and the other. Listen to me. Don't let social media fool you. Don't let people who are running in a different lane to you fool you.
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, run your race, and don't compare yourself to others. Yeah, you hear all of this cliches going around now. Comparison is a thief of joy and all that. Yeah, it's true. Don't worry about what people are doing here and there. Be inspired.
Yes.
Be inspired
And
to
your
do
creator
better.
also allows you to have whatever, as long as it's not your God. Be in the world, not of it.
That's it. That's it. Don't let it become your God. You know what I mean? These things, are they becoming our God? Or what, you know what I mean? Fitness, whatever it is, if there's something that takes the place of the one that's supposed to fill the void.
Let it serve its position.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man, that's very important to me. God, for me, is part of the reason why I feel like the world is in the state that it's in. We have amazing individuals, we have amazing human beings on the face of the planet, but we also see what human beings are capable of, right? And a part of the reason, for me, like if we go back to the one who is love,
Yes.
then we have to be accountable to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't believe, then how can we be accountable for something and to something that's supposed to make us better towards each other as human beings? So if that's the cornerstone and that's where the buck stops, and he's telling you, hey, I won't forgive you if you can't forgive this one. How can you say you love me who you don't see?
And that's the crazy.
And you hate your brother who you can see.
That's the crazy
Doesn't make
terms and
sense.
conditions in the
Yes,
Lord's Prayer.
brother.
Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive
As
those.
we forgive those, you are not getting forgiven if you cannot forgive.
So you like, it's got to be, and that's the law of the universe you're talking about. Even with the tithing, with that, you got to give. If you don't have the money, you give your time. But it's a
Yeah.
flow. It's
Yeah.
got to go to come
Give.
back. You got to be able to receive to give. Because sometimes some people can give, but they can't receive. Or some can
True
receive and
that.
not give.
True that.
It's like,
It was hard for me also to receive,
You know?
but because you sometimes I don't know if it's maybe because of our upbringing and where we, you know what I mean? It's like, don't ask for anything, don't take. And so when it does, and even just like, not necessarily just gifts or something that someone's going to put into your hand, it's physical, but like even a compliment. It's always very hard for me to
sometimes
receive.
people, and then you realize sometimes you're pushing your gifts away.
That's it.
Gotta receive, because
you have to.
By receiving it,
Yes.
it's
You
actually a
also,
gift
you
to
also giving
that person something. Yes.
Yes, it's an opportunity for them to be blessed.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it feels so nice to be able to give unconditionally.
Yeah.
And for it to be received in the right way.
But it's not always easiest. Like you said,
No, bro, it's
true.
hard.
It's very true. Also, same with self-forgiveness.
Yes.
We can forgive. You get to a point where we forgive everyone, but you looking and how could you? How could you? And
I know.
we have to also.
I'm the worst with that, bro, because
all of us, we have to forgive ourselves.
I am so aware of the cuck that I've done, of how I may have come across the wrong way. And right now,
None of us are
the
perfect.
one thing about awareness is you can't hide.
Yeah.
You know, and You don't know overbeat yourself up, but once you know, bro.
That's it.
It's like the one thing about having kids is every day is a reminder. A friend once said to me, "You're only as happy as your saddest child." So, bro,
That's a powerful
it
statement.
makes
brother.
it real, bro,
Yeah.
because until I know all my kids are happy, content, and are at peace, I wish I could put my faith and my feeling and my connection with my Creator in all those, like in my brother who's going through a hard time, when this one that's going through a hard time, because people look at me and think, oh, you got everything sorted out. We all going through something, guy.
Yeah.
The difference is, like my papa, I call God Pops, because that connection makes me know that it's all okay.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm going through. Because the one thing is, even the worst things that can happen, there's something to learn from it. If it wasn't a compassionate Creator, then that would not happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I wish for everyone, especially my kids, because they got to go through their own ups and downs.
Absolutely.
I can't take away that pain that they're going to go through.
You can't put the glasses on.
And your child never knows that even if you're not with them, you're constantly thinking about them. Everything you do. You look like you could completely disassociate it. Meanwhile, like you're weak for them.
Yeah.
Like that girl that you always wanted to, but it's even worse with your kids, bro. Like, they got me like this, they don't even know how much they got me.
You know what's a beautiful thing with that is that's how we are to the Father. So if you think about how you are to your kids and how dear they are to you and you're always thinking of them and whatnot, He knows He's numbered every hair on our head. It's impossible for us to even count it.
Yeah.
He knows every hair.
Yeah.
He takes care of the sparrow. How much more wouldn't He take care of us?
Yeah. Why would you worry? Like the birds.
Why would we worry?
And you think about it, but it's thundering, it's raining.
And the storms are here.
The birds are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also sometimes, I mean, like, it's real, right? When you're going through it, it's like, hey, where are you? Or like, whew, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know if I can manage it. Going back to like one of your last questions, one of your earlier questions, I beg your pardon, is like, did I see myself ever giving up and whatever? Yes, brother. Come on. I mean, like, even no matter what your mantra is and no matter how much you like, yes, I am this guy, life will throw things at you where you're like, what, let me let this go.
Yeah.
And let me let it go because it's not easy. People see the final result.
Yeah,
they don't see the process and what it is that you needed to go through, the rejection, the hurt,
the silence,
the silence, the manipulation, the so much that goes in and that you have to deal with, and then you still have to come and like present the best artistry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Smiling face.
Smiling
The
face.
masks.
They don't understand. But it's not about putting a target of victim mentality on us. It's more the case of if this is the industry that you choose to go into, be sure that it has been given to you by God, or it's something that you aren't choosing, because this thing is not easy, and you need to know that you need to know, because it's going to test your mettle. And the ego, right? We got to kill that thing, because then there'll come times where it's like, hey man, I need to eat. What am I going to do about this? The big star, those things, the fame.
And I went to
where
that.
I went to that,
bro.
brother.
That was the best humbling, because you got to know, growing up like a young star on TV and stuff, and like I was saying, sometimes you walk in 3 months down the line. You've been paid 3 months ago, but now your show's peaking tonight, though.
Yeah.
Now you're peaking.
Yeah.
Hey, but the pockets are dry, bro.
Yeah.
They see you like, whoa,
Hey, bro, and you're like, yeah, okay,
yes,
thank
yes.
you. No, let's hope that things are gonna change. There's good positive movement with regards to protection for artists and that.
That's
sort
what
of
I
thing.
want to talk to you about it now as well. Coming to what we've come through, what advice could you give an artist about how to take care of their money, of their mental health, of just how to be well? What secrets for longevity, for being consistent?
Well, the reason why we're here is for fitness. So fitness has to become a part of your lifestyle. It is for longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you call it? The after effects of fitness is, aesthetics and that sort of thing. Yes, you'll look good. You'll feel a little more confident and that sort of thing. Yeah, the feeling's amazing, your confidence and that sort of thing. But your health, paramount. We've only got one life. We've only got one body.
Yes.
And for what it is that we do, I mean, it's our vessel. Our bodies are our vessel, regardless of whether or not you're an actor or, you know, a programmer or whatever the case may be. So we gotta take care of it. Hydrate. Watch what you put into your body.
Yeah.
Eat your food like medicine, so you don't have to eat your medicine like food.
Exactly.
When you do stay hydrated, make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes and that sort of thing, because our bodies needs all of those. Our cells need all of those electrolytes to help the cell absorb the water. That's why we go to the bathroom so often and that sort of thing.
Sometimes they advise, I mean, if you go to bed or sipping in water, have some Himalayan salt or Celtic salt under the tongue, it helps to absorb water into the cells.
And you don't have to drink too much water, and then you find yourself kind of like,
just dehydrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleep, the importance of
sleep, very, very, very important. Very important. Try not. I mean, like, you know, because of the industry, it happens where, you know, you wrap on set at 8 and you get home by 10. You know, you have a shower. You learn some lines, and then pickup is at 4:30. So you got to be up at 3:30 again, and that sort of thing. So fair enough. It's not always going to happen, but do try to get rest
when you can.
Yes, 100%. Separate who you are from what it is that you do.
Yes.
Have your community, your friends, your family that you can go to and just be yourself away from. That's it.
Yeah.
Have people around you that love you, that can tell you the truth.
Yes.
Even if it hurts.
Yes.
There's too many people with yes people and yes men and yes women running around them, and that's why we see certain decisions that get made by top individuals, and you're going, what? Why didn't anyone tell them? Like, dude, I don't think that's a good idea. It doesn't matter how big your name is, but now look what's happening.
Watch your circle.
Watch your circle. Treat people with kindness and respect. Relationships, paramount, key. Relationships so important. Like we were talking about earlier, you never know who's going to be where in the future. And you don't do that because you're thinking about, oh, what can I get? You just be a good human being. Yes. People won't remember what you said and remember how you made them feel, right?
Exactly. Like we always remember how we had such a good time.
Yes.
We met each other in every moment. It was like we got to keep on hanging out together.
Yeah.
Even though we couldn't, we're like, when are we hanging out? You know what came to mind? When are we? You know
what came to mind actually? I even forgot about this until you were talking about it. Remember, you invited me we went to Empress Palace. There was
all of us were.
There's like some club. Did you invite all of us? We were all there.
No, I invited you. We had a friend from England come over, and I was taking.
You were hosting or something,
yes.
weren't you?
Yeah, we're like, come, let's go.
Yeah. Yes. The party was dope. It was dope. I remember the green lasers and all of that.
Yeah. Because of what a good time we had, and I wanted you to meet my family.
That's it. Yes, you know? Yes.
Because
lovely family you have, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Beautiful family.
And it's also learning to know when you've met a real one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not, because I've lost enough. I've lost my brother. I've lost a lot of people close to me. To know that when I've met someone that's real, that really appreciates me and vice versa, let them know. Give them the flowers now. Some people, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's what the show's about as well. Give you your flowers now. Congratulations, and keep on going. I'm watching you. I got you, and keep on going for me and all the others. And I'm hoping that people can see that will continue to do that after us.
Absolutely.
We breadcrumbs like
that's
Hansel
it.
and Gretel.
That's it.
And let it get passed on.
Pay it forward.
Each one teach one.
Absolutely.
So before we close, because we could go on forever.
We could go on forever, brother. We need to do a Joe Rogan type style podcast. Now 3 hours, 4 hours, bro.
No, bro, we could. What is a fit life to you? What's the definition of a fit life to you?
The definition of fit life to me is showing up, giving it all you got, eating healthy, treating people with respect and kindness, regardless of their backgrounds, where they come from. Yes, it's all for me, fit life. This is all a part of fit life. Because I can't separate it.
Yes.
It's all a part of, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's all a part of it. I mean, how many times have we come to gym and it's like, it can be a very social place. Now you treat people around you, maybe learning from here and there, and also dropping your ego, and maybe, you don't want to push too hard. You're going to hurt your shoulder because now you're seeing someone else is on 150. Or
we've hurt ourselves.
You murder.
We say helium. We're going to physio. Like, yeah, my shoulder too. You know?
The lizard.
Yo, bro. Yeah.
Treat people with kindness and respect, and never give up.
Yeah.
And it's never too late.
Never too late.
It's never too late until it's too late.
Yeah.
If we wake up with breath in our lungs, that's the gift. That's the first gift that we need to be grateful for.
Yes.
That's where the fitness comes from in the first place, because now we can breathe.
Yes.
Now we got life in our
The
bodies.
gift of breath.
Brother.
Yeah.
Because like you said,
Yeah.
life is very short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've lost a lot of people, a lot of people close to us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of perspective, especially with us getting maturing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can get old fools, but it's what we do with the lessons that we've been dealt.
Exactly.
We've still got a choice. And then remembering that we have a choice. Fit life means that we have a choice, and regardless of the circumstance, that choice is ours.
Yes.
And we can't blame anyone for it.
Yes.
We've got to take responsibility. If we take responsibility for our actions, we can move forward much quicker.
Yeah.
And we can reach our destination quicker and overcome the obstacles that we may have faced, the challenges we may have faced. We can overcome them quicker, faster, snappier. And we can be strong, man. That's what the fit life means to me.
Lastly, before we closing, if you were to leave right now, you're going back to home on the other side, what would you like to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered for being kind.
Yeah.
For being kind.
Yeah.
Because it's also a choice. And a lot of the times, the kindest individuals have the harshest stories. You don't know where it is that they came from, or where it is and how they needed to find that kindness in the first place.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want anyone to even know and remember what my story was.
Yes.
I just wanted them to remember that I was a kind individual. Yes, I made mistakes, as we all do. We're all human. But if we learn from our mistakes, they become lessons. They're not failures. Now they're lessons. We didn't lose.
Fell forward.
We either win or we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, it's a pleasure having you, my brother.
My brother.
Listen.
We gotta do the Rocky shake with the biceps.
Guys, from me, guys. Jaftha. You know what I'm saying? Keep reaching for the stars. Gun salute. Booyah.
Peace out.
Love you.